Hi, I'm Pat Mangan, Director of Governance Education at NRECA. Welcome to Governance Talk. My guest today is Dan Waddle. Dan, you are the Senior Vice President of NRECA International. This is a program that has been around since the Kennedy administration. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for asking me.
Let's start with a brief overview of the international program, Dan. If you wouldn't mind, give us a little context.
Yeah, our program began as you said, in the early 60s. At the beginning, there was no real understanding of what we were going to do or how we're going to do it. There was an intention to share the cooperative experience, the electrification experience in the United States with neighbors in Latin America and Southeast Asia. There's no intention initially to work in sub-Saharan Africa because there just wasn't enough infrastructure available there at the time. So that the first 2 decades were really of discovery, learning how to share our experience with limited resources. Our sole source of support in that time was U.S. government, USAID.
I know a lot of NRECA members, a lot of electric co-ops have participated in the program over these many years. Talk about the relationship describe the roles of that members have played in the international program, if you will.
It's changed over time. Initially, some of our members seconded staff to work at NRECA International. Some of them worked on long-term projects as project support personnel. That changed as our program became more professionalized. We hired staff, and those staff were trained and took on leadership positions. So the role of our membership changed from being actively engaged in the implementation of the program to more of a voluntary relationship. When I came on board in the early 90s, we had volunteers who would, most particularly linemen, who would volunteer to work in training assignments, as well as to help us with construction oversight. These days, our membership is engaged in governance training, in lineman training. We also have a very specific program that is designed to enable them to directly participate in projects that they finance. We help them with the design and logistics, but they also carry out the projects. These are small projects that take 2 to 3 weeks to implement, but they're very important because they give our membership a sense of ownership, and it also helps them experience what it was like in the early years of their cooperative experience.
Certainly, yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. Let's talk about USAID. The federal government is scrutinizing much more closely all aid programs, and there have been cuts in the USAID program. Talk about that a little bit from your perspective.
Well, it didn't come as a big surprise. The current administration campaigned on reduction of government spending and cutting waste. So we knew that there would be cuts across the government. It was a surprise that USAID was a specific target and that there was a decision to eliminate it. The impact on us has been substantial. Early in our program, all of our funding came from USAID. These days, about half of our funding, half of the projects that we implement comes from USAID. But it's the impact is actually bigger than that because it's been a foundational source of support, and there's been a very long-lasting and very beneficial relationship. So it's like losing a friend, right? It's not just that they're not in your life any longer, but there's a gap, and we have to, what we're doing now is trying to understand how we're going to compensate.
Very good. Talk a little bit about how you see things going forward. What might that look like?
Well, our mission hasn't changed. Our mission is to facilitate expansion of electricity access around the world, and it's really to focus on communities and their needs, to understand how we can support them with the resources that we have. So it's really a question of we have consulting agreements that are very important in terms of providing the planning support, the engineering support, to facilitate large investments in electrification. But there's also the direct community work that we do. What I see is a need for us to generate more contributions, direct contributions from our membership and beyond our membership, so we can continue to support community development through the cooperative business model. That's a challenge, and we have to wait and see how well we can respond to it. What we don't understand sometimes about these programs is that their value goes beyond the economic benefits that they provide. In my view, the value of of a foreign assistance program is that it allows our membership to express the generosity that they have in a very personal and human way. It expresses who we are. So I would encourage our membership, our associate members, and anyone who's listening to discover what this program is about and to support it if they have the means.
Terrific. Thank you for your service, Dan.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming in and talking to us on Governance Talk.
My pleasure.